Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Malan and in this video we are taking a look at some of the exciting launches from the 2023 Delhi Auto Expo. Let's start with the India's biggest car maker, Maruti Suzuki. Maruti has brought in most of their lineup. There were some new color options for Brezza and Grand Vitara. They also showcased a flex fuel Wagoner which can run on both petrol and ethanol blend of 20 to 85%. They also showcased a few concept vehicles like the EVX, but there were two important cars in Maruti's pavilion which was slated for launch later this year. The first one is the Franx, which is a jacked up crossover version of the newly launched Baleno. The front looks nice and looks similar to the Grand Vitara. None of the jacked up crossover hatch from other manufacturers was really successful, but let's see how this will do. Now the most important launch for Maruti Suzuki in 2023, the new 5-door Jimny. This is the first time this car has ever been showcased. The Jimny was only available as a 3-door around the world, but for India they have made a 5-door version of the much loved Jimny. Under the bonnet, it has a 1.5 liter K15 petrol engine. This is quite an old engine and it comes mated to either a 5-speed manual or a 4-speed auto. It only comes in two variants in India and both has 4-wheel drive as standard with low range gearbox. Maruti hasn't released the price yet, but it might be interesting. For it to be successful, it has to be priced under Thor or at least on par with 2-wheel drive Thor. Now let's move on to Hyundai. The biggest attraction in the Hyundai pavilion is the Ioniq 5, which is slated for launch in the coming months. In pictures it might look like a hatchback, but in reality it is quite a big crossover. In a time where every manufacturer is trying to make even a hatchback look like crossovers, Hyundai has gone the other way around and made the Ioniq 5, which is a crossover, look like a hatchback. The car has been launched at around 45 lakhs ex-showroom, which is almost 16 lakhs cheaper than the Kia EV6, which was launched last year. The main reason being the Ioniq 5 will be made here, while the EV6 was an import. Hyundai also showcased the Ioniq 6 sedan, but there is no talk about its launch date yet. They also showcased the Nexo hydrogen fuel cell XUV, but don't expect it to be launched anytime soon. Apart from this, there were no new facelifted Creta, no new Verna, no news about the micro SUV that rivals Tata Punch, so overall it is an okay auto expo for Hyundai but not great. Now onto Kia. They showcased the Kia EV6 GT, which is a much more sportier and powerful version of the EV6, which was launched late last year. They also showcased the big electric SUV concept, the EV9. They also showcased the next gen Carnival, but in India they are calling it KA4. This car has been on sale in other countries for well over a year. This time around the luxury MPV looks more like an SUV with its upright stance and flat bonnet. Kia India has stated that it is not planning on to launch the KA4 in India, but my guess is they will surely launch it maybe in the later part of the year. They won't go through the trouble of changing the name completely just for the Indian market if they had no intention of launching it. But that being said, there were no signs of the much awaited facelifted Seltos either. Now on to Tata. Tata showcased a lot of new launches and new concepts in this year's Auto Expo. To start with, they showcased the new facelifted version of the Harrier and Safari, both of which now gets better infotainment and digital driver display. But most importantly, both now come with ADAS features. Tata also launched the CNG version of Ultros and the popular Punch models. Unlike CNG cars from other manufacturers who just fit a big CNG cylinder in the boot and call it a day, Tata has cleverly designed the CNG cylinders to fit under the boot, so you still have a boot, albeit slightly smaller than the normal petrol versions. Tata also showcased the Ultros Racer, a hot hatchback version of the regular Ultros, and when launched it will go up against the Hyundai i20N line. There was also a new coupe-like SUV, the Tata Curve, which when launched later this year will be available with a petrol engine as well as a full EV. Tata also showcased a fully electric version of the popular Harrier, which could be launched later this year. The EV Harrier will come with all-wheel drive and will have a claimed range of above 500 kilometers. Tata also showcased the new all-electric Sierra model in its concept form, but it will go into production in the future. Overall, I would say Tata had the best Auto Expo of all manufacturers. They brought in exciting concepts, new updates to their entire lineup, so overall it was a good one from Tata. Next, let's look at MG. MG had quite a good showing. The facelifted Hector was there, and apart from that they had up to 7 new concept vehicles, all of which were on consideration for India. They had everything from all electric to plug-in hybrids to even a hydrogen fuel cell concept. They had an all-electric MG4 hatchback, then a state car called the MG5. There was a plug-in hybrids like EMG6 and EHS. Then also were 2 full-size luxury MPVs, the all-electric ME49 and the hydrogen fuel cell electric Unique 7. So overall they had a great year as well and showcased a lot of cool and exciting vehicles. Now on to Toyota. Toyota had a newly launched Innova Hi-Cross and the Hi-Rider. They also had a flex fuel powered Corolla, and they also had 2 hydrogen powered cars. The Toyota Mirai, which uses a hydrogen fuel cell technology, and the hydrogen powered Corolla Cross H2 concept. But unlike the fuel cell cars, this Corolla Cross uses an internal combustion engine in which the hydrogen is burned as fuel. They also showcased a sporty concept of the Glansaw. They had a Land Cruiser LC300 on display, for which the bookings are now open. They also showcased the BZ4X all-electric crossover, which was launched globally just last year. Apart from that, they had their entire lineup in the Auto Expo. These are some of the launches and concepts that I found interesting, and I hope you did too. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.